What are people slowly starting to forget? How much time and energy goes into making the stuff all around you? That people cough for other reasons too. Panama Papers. When to own something you had to pay only once. Now almost everything is subscription based, requires paid upgrades, DLC, plugins and so on. World War I. No veterans left and overshadowed by WW2. Neighbors. In the late 90s our neighborhood used to have block parties where someone would have a big BBQ and everyone would come hang out and have a good time. I was pretty young at the time. I don't know who hosted or organized this, but now nobody talks to anyone. Edit. It was in a suburb BTW. I'm not sure if people ever did those outside of suburbs. That the US had the longest government shutdown not that long ago. The clowns with knives of 2016. What a world war is really like. The Patriot Act allows the government to take everything of yours without charge and lock you up indefinitely, as long as they deem it a national security issue without any proof. That Reddit is just another social media platform susceptible to misinformation, full of ignorant, corruptible and misguided people. Edit. Wow, just woke up and found my first ever awards. Thanks strangers, but I only reflect and repeat wisdom of people wiser than me. How the US Constitution works and how much power the people are truly supposed to hold. Phone numbers. When's the last time you actually memorized one? Netflix that would arrive in the mail. The Las Vegas shooter's motive was never revealed. Hong Kong protests. Tibet, who was in concentration camps. Israel/Palestine conflicts. Basically every social issue has been destroyed by COVID. That the quarantines and lockdowns were to slow the spread of COVID-19 and not to eradicate it. Democracy isn't a given. That a massive Boeing jet with 239 people on board disappeared and we still don't really know WTF happened. Edit. Easily the highest upvoted comment I've had. I was halfway joking with my post, but honestly for me it just really solidified just how much freaking ocean our earth is. Others past embarrassments, even though we still hold on to ours. That a government should fear its people, not the other way around. Amazon rainforest getting messed up really bad. The fires in Australia. My dad died a week ago, starting to forget his voice, face and himself. How big a deal Princess Diana was. Think Meghan Markle x10,000. How much of a wildfire her death was. How it was all the whole damn world obsessed about for months. That before the EPA and environmental ordinances, the pollution was so bad that major cities occasionally had days they had to keep the street lights on during the day because the sun was blotted out. If you or a loved one was diagnosed with mesothelioma you may be entitled to financial compensation. Mesothelioma is a rare cancer linked to asbestos exposure. Exposure to asbestos in the Navy, shipyards, mills, heating, construction or the automotive industries may put you at risk. Please don't wait. Call 1-800-999-LAW USA today for a free legal consultation and financial information packet. Mesothelioma patients call now. 1-800-99-LAW USA. Brexit. Unless you are British. That weird period around 2007ish when everybody owned one of those big Red Bull crap buttons. That Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Net neutrality. How to navigate using a paper map. For PC gaming, that games used to have an unlimited lifespan. You could just modify a game in any way you like it, because it was normal to see total conversions or server-side mods that completely change your game. Nowadays the average game has about a 2-year lifespan, and maybe about 4 years before the company decides servers will be shut down. Connie 2012. People are slowly starting to forget how to think for themselves. Doesn't matter what the subject is. People just listen to someone else's thoughts/opinions on the subject and then just reiterate them without understanding it completely by themselves. The Tesla in space. Liberty dies with thunderous applause. Water in Flint. I stopped hearing about it and assumed the situation was resolved. Silly me. They have a life other than social media. That it is okay to agree to disagree and still have a civilized conversation. That fact overrule your emotions and or feelings. Polio. And generally a world without vaccines. Every time I see unprecedented in the media these days I think, oh, it's precedented, you just don't remember it. How to have civil conversations and be decent human beings. The Game. Ed Snowden. The Alamo. Truth. Objective truth. We are in the age of disinformation and people are actually being conned into thinking that truth is subjective and their minds are being manipulated by loudmouth idiots with a dangerous objective. That Russia shot down a passenger jet full of people and the world did nothing. How we really lived before the internet. The Animaniacs. Working 5 days a week. Russia invading Crimea, part of Ukraine. Brock Turner. Drive Dread. How to politely disagree. That a man being nice to a girl isn't him being a simp. We're all people. The people you admire on YouTube or Twitch make mistakes too. These are just recorded. Why we went war and how Hitler got elected. The draft. And that 18-year-old males are eligible for it. That only a few months ago, the Mormon church was revealed to have $100 billion stored whilst missionaries starved. That what is happening right now is completely normal. The world goes through many phases, and this is just one of them. There will be events that redefine everything, and this is one of them. Things will keep happening, and we need to keep going. I feel like a lot of people think in a short-sighted way during a global issue, and forget that this is not the end. Extreme ideas usually gain traction in these kinds of situations, and extremism is never good. Reddit is especially notorious for becoming an echo chamber. We always must remember to be critical of everything. It is extremely important to form our own opinions without influence from the opinions of other people. Free speech is the key to freedom. That it's could have instead of could have. Hong Kong protest for freedom. How to live off the land and do for yourself. Gardening, fishing, building things, fixing things. Misspace. That facts are not political. Just because you disagree does not mean it is not true. Edit. First ever award. Thanks. Manual transmission. Manners. Those simple bare necessities. That memes don't need to be made out of flesh and blood. Simple ones with good humor are also good. That the reason for the home quarantine was not to stop the spread, but to slow it down, so that the medical systems could deal with it. We will all get the virus at some point, unless there is a vaccine. It's not if, but when. Haram. To take social distancing seriously. Socialism is not simply when the government does stuff. The clown thing that happened about 3 years ago. That being nice is a good thing. House phones. I can't remember. Trump was impeached. Seriously, I haven't heard anyone talk about it since February. That dude who tried to buy everyone to delete his video. Punctuation. I started college at 31. It's been a couple of years, and I've noticed a big deficit in punctuation in upper level writing classes. I'm not talking about minor things, like a comma in the wrong place, or forgetting to put a period somewhere. It's major stuff. I think it's because of texting and comment sections like this. No one gets graded for that sort of written communication. At most they will get corrected by someone that gets dubbed a grammar Nazi, or others will put them down if their words are particularly hard to comprehend. Because of a total lack of punctuation, there isn't much reading of actual books done outside of school, and all they are exposed to are comments and posts and texts. So it's no wonder. PM Dawn. The skill of repairing something instead of replacing it. How horrible communism is for the people living under it. That George W. Bush is not a good, honest person and was responsible for the death of at least 1 million Iraqis. I'm looking at you, the neoliberals on Twitter who are acting like he's a hero compared to Trump, who actually hasn't committed any war crimes yet. How to be excellent to each other. How to accept constructive criticism. That socialism is a terrible way to run a country. It astounds me how many college students buy into this. History, especially cruel parts of history, like wars. political fights and its impact on people's lives. I can't recall the taste of restaurant food, nor the sound of a filled pub, nor the touch of a friendly hand. Instead, I'm naked in my chair. There's nothing, no veil between me and the all-consuming boredom. The wildfires in Australia, as well as the escalation of tensions between the US and Iran in January. For me, January news-wise seems like a year or two now, based on how much chaos COVID-19 has caused to this world. Life before 9/11. But who am I kidding? Everyone forgot instantly, and most of you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Personal responsibility. Pepperidge Farms remembers. The Area 51 raid. Oh, the glory days. Basic mental arithmetic. Seriously, the fact that we all carry a device all day that contains, among many other things, a calculator, has made us quite lazy in terms of working out basic arithmetic like addition, subtraction, division and multiplication. In fact, I would say memorizing facts and information altogether is now much less a thing for many of us, as we depend more on devices to remember things for us.